Okay.
他们要学语言，他们要
You can say hi to the parents.
Okay.
If you want.
在生活中去找出他们需要什么，然后我们来进行。
好 ，hello， 咁啊又係我 Brian 啦。今次咧我哋又開 live 啦喺 Facebook 呢度啦，咁就係會展兒童優質教育博覽嗰度。今次咧我係揾到另外一位朋友同佢傾下偈嘅，當然啦關於啲優質教育噶啦。今次我 Brian 就揾到邊一位咧？咁我嚟自咧 Dalton School HK 嘅香港道爾頓學校嘅校長 Shaun 咧嚟同我哋講幾句説話嘅。咁啊今次嘅內容咧就係關於美國道爾頓教育計劃對學生嘅益處。好，首先簡單介紹下呢間學校先。嗱，香港道爾頓學校咧 DSHK 係一所咧包括咗幼稚園、小學同埋中學嘅私立國際學校嚟嘅。佢就係雙語教學嘅，普通話同埋英文，融合咗中國文化傳統以及由美國引入嘅道爾頓教育計劃嘅 The Dalton Plan。嗱，不設單一課本，記住啊，好得意啊！呢樣嘢係以自主學習模式為基礎嘅。而家咧，我哋就喺呢個會展啦，兒童優質教育博覽會嗰度咧。咁喺我身邊咧就係阿 Shaun 啦。咁啊，同佢傾下偈先。嗱，我就會用中文問佢，佢就會用英文答嘅。我都會翻譯翻，大家放心啊。好啦，咁問下 Shaun 先。Hello，hi everybody。Hello，OK，好。咁啊，呢個我就問下佢啦。課程咧採用咗由美國引入嘅道爾頓教育計劃咧 The Dalton Plan 啦，對學生嘅益處係乜嘢咧？
All right, hello everyone. Thank you very much. So I would say that there are many ways that our kids benefit from the Dalton Plan, but I will focus on the top three. So I would say the first is an emphasis on personalization. So the goal of the Dalton Plan is really to personalize to each child. And so that means that we're really trying to tailor the curriculum to their interests, their strengths, but also their areas for need. I think one particular cool way that we do this is through the inquiry process. So our children have a voice in the type of inquiry topics that they learn, so they're able to do study topics from everything from magic and illusions to sports, and I think that really gets them excited about what they're learning. A second area though is rigor. Our children, the Dalton Plan, because it is focused on tailoring to the individual child, our aim is really to try to meet kids where they are at that just right place. So for some kids that might mean that they need additional support, so we give them those extra scaffolds to give them access to the curriculum. But then for other kids it might mean that they need to be challenged more, right? They need extra challenges to make sure that their needs are being met. And then a third way I would say is the emphasis on community. So part of the Dalton Plan is the house, which is where we build these really small knit communities, and many families describe our school as a family, and I think that's because of that house structure, where I think every child really feels known, they feel seen, they feel valued in our community.
I would love to visit your school. OK， 好啦，咁啊呢個時間咧就重複一次先。咁啊頭先咧阿 Shaun 就講到咧有好多個好處嘅，分咗3個好處嘅。咁第一個好處咧就係為每個小朋友咧提供個個性化嘅服務，為每個小朋友嘅興趣啦、優勢同埋成長而設計嘅課程嘅。咁好似啦，一個例子就係舊年咧佢哋學校咧就探究咗一啲學生佢哋中意嘅一啲 topic 啊，就係魔法與幻覺。世界各地嘅運動、體育運動啦，之前啦、而家啦同埋現在嘅名人啦、節日同埋傳統等等嘅唔同嘅主題，佢哋都探究咗嘅，亦都係根據學生嘅興趣嚟決定嘅喎呢啲課程。好啦，第二樣嘢咧就係嚴謹啦，即係佢所謂嘅啱啱好啦。因為咧課程係為每個小朋友度身訂造過，所以亦都意味咗咧對每個學生嚟講能夠恰到好處嘅地方，咁就唔會好似譬如每個小朋友都係標準化同埋達到相同嘅標準。第三樣嘢咧就係社區感啦。老師咧就會用大量嘅時間同學生培養關係同埋建立學校嘅文化，等每個小朋友咧亦都感到被重視同埋受到重視嘅。好啦，下一條問題咯，就係問下佢頭先講到咧不設單一課本啦，以自主學習模式為基礎，可以培養學生究竟邊一方面嘅能力呢？
All right, thank you. So I think in a self-directed learning approach, it really helps cultivate 21st century skills because we're focused more on the journey rather than the destination. Right? And I think in a textbook exam-based system, it's very focused on kind of a narrow scope of knowledge, where when we're using multiple resources, then I think there's more opportunities for students to develop 21st century skills like critical thinking, creativity, and collaboration. So we can develop critical thinking by giving students, really, rich problems that might be outside the general curriculum. So for example, in a recent fourth grade class that I observed, students were engaging in a research project about sports around the world, and they were analyzing the validity of the sources that they were using. If you're only using a single textbook, then you're very reliant on just the information from that text rather than being able to look at different types of sources. Creativity is something I think that also there's a lot more room for creativity when we're not reliant on a single textbook. Students need opportunities to work with problems that are outside the general curriculum. So in math, we often give children things that we call non-routine problems, and that's where they are asked to solve problems that don't have an obvious solution, and there's many different ways that they can go about solving that problem. And then the third skill I think that's naturally developed in this method is collaboration. Right? So collaboration is key to everything that we do because we believe that students can learn a great deal from each other rather than just the teacher or the textbook. And they learn to really listen to one another and value different perspectives. Thank you.
Thank you, Shaun. 好啦，呢個時間你又重複翻啦。好啦，究竟唔依賴單一課本啦，咁就自主學習有啲乜嘢好處呢？就係原來咧學習着重過程唔係結果嘅，呢個就係佢講嘅。單一課本咧將會重點咧就受到限制啦，同埋喺知識同埋應試型方面呢個方面學習嘅。但係相反啦，自主學習方法亦都結合咗好多唔同嘅資源，又或者學科，幫助呢個學生發展21世紀嘅能力啦。例如啲咩能力呢？批判思考。同埋創造力同埋合作能力等等嘅呢啲能力。咁啊校長咧最近咧喺呢個4年級嘅班裏邊咧睇到一樣嘢，值得同大家分享下嘅就係啲學生咧就喺度研究緊一個咧嚟自世界各地嘅一項特定運動嘅一個資訊。咁老師咧就要求佢哋，你哋不如查下咧，究竟呢個資訊咧個來源首先係咪合法先，係咪能夠揾到其他嘅來源嚟支持同埋驗證呢一個信息咧？亦都譬如咧，如果你係依靠單一課本嘅話咧，咁你嘅資源來源咧都到時會受到限制啦。但係喺呢種學習模式裏邊咧，就會產生到你唔同嘅來源啦，等你哋學習多啲嘅。仲有一樣嘢咧，就係話。學習對自主學習係一個非常關鍵嚟嘅，呢個合作對自主學習係非常關鍵嚟嘅，因為學生咧可以互相學習，亦都唔需要依賴老師啦對佢哋嘅指導啦，又或者一啲示範嘅。學生咧經常咧都會學識分組合作，咁又或者喺度傾聽同埋尊重唔同嘅觀點過程，咁當中咧亦都會學習到點樣同其他人合作嘅。好啦，亦都會問下佢咯。其實咧學校咧着重咧英語同埋普通話雙語教學啦，咁會唔會為中文係母語或者係中文非母語嘅學生咧提供一個分流授課呢？
Okay, so I really appreciate this question. So we are a dual language school. It's one of the things I really love about our school. And so what that means is that students spend 50% of their time in English and 50% of their time in Chinese across subject areas. So even subjects like music, PE, and art, they will have in both languages. And so when we talk about this idea of streaming, we do not stream our children by native language. If we think it's really important that we create diverse classrooms where there's children of mixed language backgrounds. And the reason we think this is so important is that we believe that, and research has shown from the Center for Applied Linguistics, that when children see the purpose for using language, right, so trying to connect with people who have different language backgrounds actually helps them acquire new language better. Whereas if children just stay in their own native language groups, they tend to stick to their dominant language. So this diversity actually supports the development of both languages.
好，咁Shaun亦都講到咧，其實咧雙語學校嘅意思咧，意味住咧中文同英文咧都係非常之同樣地重要嘅。咁喺學校裏邊咧，50% 教學時間咧就會用中文，另外50% 嘅教學時間咧就會用英文，亦都係咧因為咁樣創造咗一個叫做沉浸式嘅環境，真正咧支持學生能夠發展雙語嘅能力啦，同埋咧發展到兩邊嘅雙語嘅文化素養嘅。嗱，佢哋咧原來話多年嘅研究咧，發現結果咧並唔支持咧分流嘅模式嘅，因為咧事實上咧其實佢哋發現咧多樣化嘅學習有助於學生會使用兩種唔同嘅語言嘅。嗱，佢舉個例就係當我哋咧按照家庭語言將學生分開嘅時候咧，通常佢哋咧就會繼續用翻佢嘅家庭語言嘅。唯有多樣化嘅學習，亦都係可以幫助到學生嚟自唔同背景嘅人啦，建立良好嘅溝通同埋關係嘅。好啦，繼續問下 Shaun 咯噃，有啲乜嘢特色啦課後嘅活動能夠幫到學生尋找佢嘅個人興趣同埋專長呢？
我想問下千惠。
Okay, thank you. So at Dalton, we really believe that children are our curriculum and the world is our textbook, and that we bring that spirit to our extracurricular activities as well as something that we call X time. So extracurricular activities are those things that are happening after school, but X time is things that are happening within the school day. And so some examples of some of our fun extracurricular activities, we have 4 different categories. So we have arts-related activities, so that's things like choir, dance, ensemble, mixed media. We have a lot of activities in Chinese because we place a strong emphasis on Chinese culture, so things like Chinese painting, speech and debate, wushu. A lot of sports-related activities, so everything from badminton to basketball team, dodgeball team, lacrosse team, rowing team, and rugby team. And then also many STEAM-related activities, so things like chess is super popular at our school, coding, robotics, and also woodwork. But then we also have those X-time activities which happen during the school day, and so some of the favorites that the kids have are things like cooking, musical theater, gardening, origami, sculpture, and the kids help us choose those activities, so they're always usually very fun and high interest, and I think it's a great way for kids to find their passions.
阿 Shaun 咧頭先講咗好多課程啊，而家慢慢講俾大家聽啊。佢話道爾頓相信咧，孩子係我哋嘅課程，世界咧係我哋嘅課本。咁學校咧亦都會將呢個信念咧帶入課外活動同埋課內活動裏邊嘅。咁究竟佢有啲咩課外活動咧？而家講俾大家聽啦。話包括咗藝術相關嘅活動就係合唱團啦、舞蹈啊、戲劇啊、合奏啊、混合媒體等等。以中文開展嘅一啲課程就包括咗國畫、演講辯論同埋書法或者係武術啦。另外係體育相關嘅活動就有例如羽毛球啊、籃球啊、閃避球、蛙艇隊又或者係欖球等等，又或者 STEAM 相關嘅活動咧就係國際象棋、編程、機械人同埋木工嘅。佢另外講到咧，其實咧最受歡迎嘅課內活動咧就係話烹飪、園藝、音樂劇、摺紙同埋雕塑嘅。佢話其實每年學校都會評估各項嘅活動，並要求學生提出建議。嗱咁樣學生就會有機會真正探索佢哋嘅興趣，而且揾到啦佢哋嘅特長啦同埋熱忱嘅。好啦，繼續問下問題先。同外邊咧，究竟同邊啲大學係有聯繫嘅咧？而升學方面又可以點樣接軌嘅咧？
Okay, thank you. So actually Dalton right now here in Hong Kong, we start with playgroup for our 1-year-olds, then we have Little Dalton, which is our kindergarten, and then we have DSHK, which now currently goes up to 5th grade. Now ultimately we do have plans to scale up to secondary, but we don't yet have high school graduates who have gone on to university. So one of the things that I do often say to our parents is that I think sometimes there's a bit of a rush to think about university. I want us also to slow down and make sure that we really, value the journey of learning and recognize that our children are only 3 years old once. So I think that sometimes there's almost an overemphasis on that university destination, and that landscape is changing rapidly. However, that doesn't mean that we don't have connections with universities. So I would say 2 main ones that I would discuss with you would be Tsinghua University as well as 42. So Tsinghua, so we have a direct relationship with the Tsinghua University Primary School in Beijing, and so they've been really instrumental in supporting us with the design of our curriculum. So our curricular materials are adapted from the Tsinghua Primary School materials. And also in terms of some of our Chinese culture elements, we've gotten that straight from Tsinghua. And then 42 is a computer software engineering school that's actually the equivalent of like a Stanford University computer software degree. And so this is a very constructivist learning approach that's very aligned with our beliefs around STEAM. And so we're excited to be working with them as we expand to secondary.
好啊 ，Shaun 咧亦都講咗啦。咁其實咧，道爾頓到而家為止咧，就係預備班咧到5年級嘅，明年咧將會首次提供6年級嘅課程，成為一間咧完整嘅學校，亦都係話咧學校最終就會有高中階段嘅教育嘅。好啦，咁佢哋咧同2間重要嘅學校機構建立咗關係喎，大家留意住咯喎。第一間就係北京清華大學，而第二間咧就係編程42。咁佢講咧就係呢個編程42就係專注電腦科學嘅一間中學嚟嘅。咁相對於史丹福大學嘅軟件工程項目嘅，所以亦都係非常之優秀嘅學校。到而家為止咧，佢哋亦都提供咗啦幼稚園到小學教育啦，已經開始同呢2間著名嘅學校合作㗎啦。因為咧佢話清華大學嘅附屬小學幫助咗佢哋咧開發咗一套好嚴謹嘅中文課程，亦都強調咗中國價值觀嘅。編程42亦都係一所咧創新嘅21世紀嘅學校，受到全球科技行業嘅高度評價嘅，所以佢哋都建構咗 主義學習方法，亦都同咧佢哋嘅小學同埋中學嘅 STEM 課程咧理念係非常之一致嘅。而道爾頓咧嘅第一屆嘅畢業生咧，亦都成功入讀咗英國、美國嘅教育系統以及香港嘅著名學校。好啦，講到入學校咧，亦都不得不提嘅就係入學面試嘅時候，學生應該注意啲乜嘢？有啲乜嘢 tips 咧？
All right, thank you. So at our admissions process, I would say that we really are aiming to try to paint as accurate a portrait of a child as possible. And so I really want to give maybe some tips that will hopefully help your child just feel their most comfortable and confident self. And so here's just a few. So I would say, one, get a good night's sleep and eat a healthy breakfast that day. We recommend that children bring a favorite book to the interview or a favorite toy because this might help put them at ease and give them something that they can talk about. Also, we encourage parents or guardians, whoever's bringing the child into the interview, make sure that you remain calm because your child will sometimes feed off of your energy. So if you're anxious, then your child's going to feel anxious. So we recommend that you stay calm. And then I would say, if possible, I think something that can help both you and your child feel more comfortable is if you get a chance to visit the school beforehand. I think because that helps a child sort of visualize the space and see maybe familiar faces, and that can help put them at ease. But the last thing I would say is that the home and school partnership is so important. And so a big part of our interview process is the conversation between the parent and the principals. And that's a chance for us to really get a sense of what are your family's values, what kind of educational system do you want for your child, and then also a space for you to ask questions and seek clarity of us, because it's a mutual courtship, right? You're trying to make sure it's the right fit for your child, and we want to be able to give you that information so that you can feel comfortable with that.
Okay. 好啦，好重要嘅問題啦，究竟咧入學嘅時候咧有啲乜嘢要注意嘅咧？其實阿 Shaun 咧提供咗好多 tips， 大家留意住咯。佢首先咧希望小朋友感到自然同埋自信，展現咗真實嘅自己啦。校長咧亦都提供咗一啲幫助小朋友面試嘅時候感到自信同埋自然嘅一啲 tips 噃。咁究竟係啲乜嘢咧？首先面試嘅時候要有充足嘅睡眠啦，同埋食一個健康嘅早餐同埋午餐嘅。佢話帶一本自己中意嘅書，同埋準備好分享點解你中意呢本書先。仲有帶一件中意嘅玩具又或者物品啦，同老師討論下點解啦。咁就話家長同監護人咧，亦都要注意嘅喎，就係咧鼓勵多啲小朋友，等佢哋唔好咁緊張焦慮啊。佢話如果可以嘅話咧，就帶個小朋友咧，首先參觀下學校先，等小朋友熟悉咗佢自己呢個學習環境先啊。咁亦都喺面試過程裏邊一個重要嘅部分，原來就係家長同校長傾偈嘅時間啦。因為咧家長亦都可以咁藉住呢個機會咧，分享下家庭家庭價值觀啦，同埋學習嘅理念嘅，同時亦都可以了解學校嘅情況嘅。今日咧非常之唔該晒 Shaun 咧，為我哋咧講解咗咁多嘅問題啦。咁啊多謝晒大家陪住我哋喺 Facebook Live 啊！我哋再次講多次，我哋喺會展嘅兒童優質教育博覽會呢度，我哋做 live 嘅。再次多謝晒 Shaun， Thank you again，Thank you very much。
Thank you everyone. All right, thank you so much.
Okay，拜拜。